At the 2023 Oscars, the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences presented their traditional segment that highlighted the people in the film and TV business we lost last year. Sadly, several important people were left out of the In Memoriam. In this video, we'll take a look at some of those snubs. The In Memoriam video was a heartfelt and touching tribute this year and contained myriad people who were talented and beloved. 2022 was a year that saw its fair share of big losses, including names like Rachel Welch, Liotta, James Cahn, and Angela Lansbury. It also had many directors, writers, and other folks who work primarily behind the camera. And for fans of the people included in the video, it was a fitting tribute. That included the presenter himself, John Travolta. John notably lost two friends and former co-stars, Olivia Newton-John and Kirstie Alley. He had starred alongside Alley in the Look Who's Talking movies and with Newton-John in Grease. Travolta was clearly moved by the moment as he held back tears at the loss of his dear friends. Yet there were some names not a part of the montage. Paul Sorvino. The Sorvino family has been a part of Hollywood for decades, so this one was a pretty big shock. Legendary actor Paul Sorvino passed away in July of 2022 after a lengthy and prolific career. He was born in 1939 in Brooklyn and made his film debut in Where's Papa, a film by Carl Reiner. Over the course of the next few decades, he was in a slew of movies and TV show episodes. Some of his bigger roles included a part in the classic Scorsese movie Goodfellas, as well as his TV roles, including playing Bruce Willis's dad on Moonlighting, as well as playing Sergeant Phil Soretta on Season 2 of Law & Order. He also had a successful career on stage, earning a Tony Award for his performance in That Championship Season in 1972. He kept acting up until his death, appearing recently as Jeff Garland's father in The Goldbergs and playing Frank Costello in The Godfather of Harlem from 2019 to 2021. Notably, he came to his daughter's defense when it was revealed she had been blacklisted in Hollywood by Harvey Weinstein after she flatly rejected his sexual advances. Paul said at the time, quote, "If I'd known it, he would not be walking. He'd be in a wheelchair." His absence from the In Memoriam was doubly odd, considering not only are two of his three children actors as well, but his daughter Mira is an Academy Award winner herself. When he died, Mira posted a clip of her hugging her famous dad when she won. After the Oscars ceremony this year, Mira posted on Instagram about the snub. She wrote, quote, "Incredibly hurt and shocked that my father's lifelong, irreplaceable, enormous contribution to the world of cinema was overlooked by whomever made that list." She added that his fans and family know how great he was and that she hoped the Academy was able to find a way to right this wrong. Heche. Another snub in the In Memoriam was Heche, who died last year in August. She had a long and illustrious career, despite dying relatively young at age 53. Born in Ohio in 1969, Heche grew up in a fairly chaotic family dynamic, with parents who were often trying get-rich-quick schemes and constantly moving the family around. One of her first gigs as an entertainer was an odd one. She sang songs from the musical Annie to help drum up business for a burger stand on the Atlantic City boardwalk. But it was an early start to a career that took off not long after. She was on the soap Another World in the late 80s and garnered a Daytime Emmy Award for her portrayal of twins Vicky Hudson and Marley Love. She was able to move into a film career and gained recognition for her part in the indie film Walking and Talking. From there, she launched a career that saw her in a series of larger roles and bigger films. These included parts in Donnie Brasco, as well as Wag the Dog, Volcano, and I Know What You Did Last Summer. She played the lead role opposite Harrison Ford in 6 Days, 7 Nights, and followed that up with a part in the modern remake of the classic Hitchcock film Psycho. She added directing into the mix in the late 90s, directing projects like a segment of HBO's If These Walls Could Talk Too. She continued acting into the 2000s, focusing mostly on TV appearances and indie movies. She also found success on stage and was a Tony Award nominee in 20th Century on Broadway. She continued with a successful acting career for the next 2 decades until her timely death. Her personal life was often the focus of tabloids, as she was in a relationship with Ellen DeGeneres for a number of years. She also had episodes of mental health issues, and it's possible these contributed to her early passing. Charlbi Dean. Charlbi Dean was a South African model and actress who sadly died at age 32 last year. Her death was the result of bacterial sepsis, a condition made worse by her lack of a spleen. Doctors had removed it years prior after Charlbi was in a car accident. And while it may have been a life-saving operation back then, it ultimately left her more susceptible to infections. Charlbi had a brief but impressive career, beginning as a successful model. She started that at age 6 and was signed to an agency by the time she was 12. Her car accident happened in 2008, after which she took some time off from her career to heal. But once she regained her health, she began to dive into the acting world. She found success fairly quickly, earning a part in the adaptation of Spud as well as its sequel. She was also in 2 seasons of the show Black Lightning, but her most high-profile gig came only very recently. She played the lead in Triangle of Sadness, a movie nominated for Best Picture at this year's Oscars. It was the success of that movie that led many to wonder why the actress wasn't included in the Memoriam segment. She had garnered a lot of critical praise for her role, and it likely would have served as the springboard to a blossoming career. Leslie Jordan. Character actor Leslie Jordan was enjoying a renaissance of sorts when he tragically passed on last year. As a young gay child, he felt like he never fit in and felt a lot of shame because of the church's teachings. But he managed to escape that life and moved to LA to pursue acting. Unfortunately, his fate in LA wasn't that much better initially, as he began taking drugs, drinking a lot, and even getting arrested a few times. But he managed to slowly turn things around as his career started to get going. He recently noted he'd been sober for 13 years before he died. He found success primarily on stage and TV. His most notable role was perhaps his turn as Beverly Leslie in Will and Grace. He reprised the popular role in the remake of the show as well. He had roles on shows like Hearts of Fire in the 90s, and more recently American Horror Story and Call Me Kat. But oddly enough, Jordan may have achieved his most fame through his Instagram account during the pandemic. He posted quirky vids that went viral and that ended up garnering nearly 6 million followers in 2020. It was that intense social popularity that contributed to the outcry that he was omitted from the In Memoriam segment. Tom Sizemore. Tom Sizemore was an intense and talented actor who carved out a long and successful career despite his constant struggles with addiction and issues with the law. He was born in 1961 in Detroit, and after getting his master's degree at Temple, he set his sights on becoming an actor. He found initial success at the tail end of the 80s with roles in movies like Lock Up and Born on the 4th of July. By the 90s, his career was taking off, and he became known as a reliable character actor who could round out a cast with grit, passion, and skilled acting. As such, he was cast in big movies, ranging from Passenger 57 to Heat to Saving Private Ryan. His role in the TV movie Witness Protection earned him a Golden Globe nomination. Sadly, Sizemore became perhaps more famous for his issues with addiction than his acting career. He even agreed to put out a reality show called Shooting Sizemore, which chronicled his struggles with heroin and meth. He also joined shows like Celebrity Rehab with Dr. Drew to help get past his addiction issues. Now it's time to hear from you. Do you think these actors should have been included in the In Memoriam segment? Let us know in the comments section below.